What's my competitive advantage? Nothing. I can sell it for less money. We can continue to make less money until we all make no money. You do not want to be in that position, right? Let's talk a little bit about competitive advantage. So Amazon and Google and Spanx all have giant competitive advantages. And this is something that is going to be really, really important because the number one thing that buyers value in potential acquisitions is having a sustainable competitive advantage. You need to, in your deck, be able to express what that is. What is your sustainable competitive advantage? What is the moat that you're going to create between you and everybody else? How many of you guys are familiar with Michael Porter? Okay, so Michael Porter in the 80s wrote a book called Competitive Advantage. He's written a couple since then. He's considered the guru's guru for competition. He said there are 5 forces that affect competition and success. It's the threat of new entrants, buyer bargaining power, the threat of substitute products, supplier bargaining power, and competitive rivalry. It's an out-of-date book, but the concepts I think are still really, really valuable. He says you get basically 2 things. You either get to be a cost leader and have a focus on serving a niche with the lowest possible pricing, which ultimately leads to perfect competition, which is a place where no one has any competitive advantage and it's a race to the bottom, which is kind of what airlines did, right? It's just, we're going to all compete and we're all going to keep lowering prices until we just can't stay in business anymore. It's a really, really crappy place to be. Or differentiation plus servicing a focused niche with premium pricing, which allows you to, through innovation, quality, or customer experience, remember customer experience, differentiate yourself and not have to compete with everybody based on price. So you want to be mindful, and that's to me the biggest challenge of all the people that go into Amazon, just I'm going to sell lighters like 70,000 other people, and what's my competitive advantage? Nothing. I can sell it for less money. We can continue to make less money until we all make no money. You do not want to be in that position, right? So being mindful of that, you want to think about what can you do, and advertising ideally is the medium. Our media that we buy, our earned media that we own, it really makes sense that that's used to communicate and amplify your competitive advantage. So you got to know what your competitive advantage is, right? So the purpose of marketing is to differentiate yourself from the norm, according to Roy Williams. And a couple of case studies. This is a company, $125 million sale of a engagement ring company called Spence. And what Spence did was they started with cost leadership, but they got there by vertically integrating a high margin business. So they vertically integrated manufacturing, sourcing, etc. for all of the rings that they did. And they also innovated. This is really cool. So if you go into a Spence jewelry store, they have a 30% in-store conversion rate. I was in the diamond business for years. That is insane, right? 30% of the people that walk in the store are going to buy a diamond. Why? Because they're going to walk in and it's going to be set up like this, only, more diamond story. And you can pick up any engagement ring, any diamond ring. You can pick up, put it on your finger, see how it looks. Now, shrinkage or theft of that, if it was real diamonds, would be insane. But they said, what if we just do it with amazing cubic zirconia diamonds, right? Fake diamonds that don't cost us any money because they actually manufacture. They bought manufacturing for those, which is the vertical integration thing. So now, where every other store you've got to be like, hey, can I get somebody? Can I get somebody over here? That's hard. None of those losses, because if that person doesn't come in the right amount of time, you leave, right? And it's not, well, I don't know if I can afford that one, so I don't want to try that one. They can get excited and try everything on and get it, and get totally jazzed about it and then buy it. So their conversion rates go through the roof. So that innovation, one of the things that was at the things to do on the competitive advantage scale, is they gave a superior customer experience as a result of that, plus the friendly staff who knows that you don't say, oh, you probably can't afford that, so that's amazing, it's awesome, oh my gosh, it looks great on you, right? They train the people up. They get selection and speed of delivery. So because they own the vertically integrated manufacturing facilities, they were able to deliver the diamonds significantly faster than anybody else. So they've got a way broader selection, plus they can get it to you almost instantaneously. And they basically, the designs that they brought in were artisanal. So they were just different. They weren't just stick a solo diamond on a thing. It was actually, let's create a whole bunch of really cool things. Cost leadership and innovation. And then ultralight inventory model, they were turning their inventory, I think it was 54 times a year, which is crazy, like crazy, crazy. And so all of these competitive advantages, cost leadership, innovation, selection speed, customer experience, allowed them to sell the company for way more than they would have been able to if they didn't have that, because otherwise they're just another diamond store. Now the buyer, remember when I was talking about the stages of the business and I said sell here in the middle of the growth curve, the buyer said, well, you've only got one store. We're a private equity firm. We'll just take that model and blow it up all across the country. And that's why they were able to sell it for so much money. Okay?